Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at another HMV Premium Collection release. This one came out in 2018, and it is one that I've been meaning to revisit for quite some time now, so I'm glad I finally have the chance to do so. And it is 1956's The Wrong Man. So this is directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Some 24 other films from him, before actually seeing a whole load of films from Chang Che, who directed a lot of martial arts films, for instance. He was my most prolific director alongside, I think, Ishiro Honda and Roger Corman, but they've all three been overtaken by Chang Che as of last year. But three films from Alfred Hitchcock that I find to be quite underrated would be the likes of Frenzy, The Lady Vanishes, and Suspicion. So yeah, this is a docudrama film noir that clocks in at 105 minutes long. Stars likes of Henry Fonda, who I've seen in 16 other films. He was great in films like You Only Live Once and Spawn of the North, both of which I looked at last year. Both really rather good. Also stars Vera Miles, who was in Psycho and Psycho 2, as well as The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. And finally, Anthony Quayle, who was in the likes of The Guns of Navarone and HMS Defiant, also known as Damn the Defiant, depending on where you live. So in 1953, an innocent man named Christopher Emmanuel Manny Ballestero is arrested after being mistaken for an armed robber. So this is the only Hitchcock film based on a true story, which is why it is in the docudrama genre. And although that does at times constrain his directorial flourishes, this is nonetheless still an engrossing effort that has some highly effective cinematography, especially when it comes to Henry Fonda's character slowly coming to the realization that he's going to be put in jail and such, and the kind of anxiety and worry that comes with that. Um, and a cracking score from Bernard Herrmann, which would be his third collaboration with Hitchcock. Obviously, they'd go on to even greater scores with likes of Psycho and such, but yeah, this is only their third collaboration. I think it was actually the second one in the same year, and only the third one in 2 years, as it was 1955 that they did their first film with The Trouble with Harry. So yeah, the free of the cast is also excellent. The pacing is on point. The supporting cast is decent. The characterization is solid. It feels grounded in its plot, which it should do, given it is obviously based on real life events. And there is impactful tension to be had from someone being accused of a crime they haven't committed. So yeah, overall, a really, really solid effort. One that I've come around to a little bit more over time. I remember seeing this, I think, way back in 2015 and not particularly enjoying it all that much, especially in comparison to other Hitchcock films that I was watching at the time. But yeah, this has slightly gone up now. I'm definitely going to give it a 4 out of 5. It doesn't quite rank as a high alongside the high watermark of Hitchcock's career. The three that I mentioned earlier, for instance, I would certainly give a higher rating than this. But still, 4 out of 5 is not bad, and yeah, still a solid effort overall. So yeah, really like the slip cover that this has going on with it, with the original artwork, which yeah, has probably been parodied numerous times in with certain future films. But yeah, really, really nicely done. And then we have a few art cards inside as well. So I think that's more promotional material kind of thing. Can't remember that exact shot in the film itself, but then we do have some that are. So no real spoilers with this one at all, really. And then we have an alternative poster for the film as well. And we have the film on Blu-ray and DVD as well, because it's that kind of old release where you've got a DVD as well. Nowadays, if it came on 4K, you might well get a Blu-ray instead. It's very rare now you get a DVD alongside a Blu-ray in a new film release. Then we have a few extras on the disc as well. We have a making of documentary. We have then Guilt Trip, Hitchcock and The Wrong Man, and an original theatrical trailer as well. So yeah, overall a solid release. Still looks fairly decent on this Blu-ray as well, even though obviously it's far from a new one. This seems to have been slightly forgotten, though, in terms of Hitchcock's filmography overall, though, because it wasn't included in a Hitchcock box set that I got a long time ago, which had 14 of his films. Surprised this wasn't included, because obviously it does have quite a notable cast, and also, you know, Vera Miles would also go on to star in another Hitchcock film, the likes of Psycho, which would obviously prove to be a huge success for Hitchcock. So yeah, I am surprised that that hasn't been included in collections of his releases before, or that it's not had, you know, a 4K release or anything like that since. So yeah, it seems to have gone slightly under the radar, to be honest. But nonetheless, I think it is overall a solid effort, and one that is well worth seeing. especially if you're into the film noir genre and want to see stuff that is outside of the 40s, because this is quite the late period of the film noir genre in the late 50s, which obviously it would die out by the time the 60s rolled out. So yeah, but still, it's an overall solid effort. It's the cinematography in particular in certain areas, especially with the being black and white, is also, like I said, really, really good. And yeah, even though it doesn't have those directorial flourishes of Hitchcock's other works, it doesn't really have much in the way of suspenseful thriller moments. There's no chase scenes or murder or anything like that. It still is overall effective and well worth seeing, especially if you want to see all of Hitchcock's films. It's not one that I'd personally skip over. Um, there probably is one out there that I would skip over that's currently slipping my mind. But yeah, in terms of Hitchcock's heyday, like I said, it does seem to have been overlooked a little bit. This is a year after or is it the same? I think the same year as The Man Who Knew Too Much, which I'd say is a better film than this. So maybe that's why this has been overlooked, because I do believe that was a much bigger box office success. So yeah, but it's not one that you should overlook. It is a fairly solid effort, and yeah, an overall good film noir, albeit not my favourite from the genre. Nonetheless, so if you have seen The Wrong Man before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.